I'm not going to make this very long. I'm going to make this short. In my community chat, not very long ago, at 3:43, in fact, I posted the current status of parts of the stock market and parts of the crypto market. Bitcoin was at $41,608. I think right now it's at about 42,000 because apparently they still suckered some people into buying dips. The two ETFs related to Bitcoin, ProShares Trust and Valkyrie Trust, both of those are down, obviously. Litecoin, 140, Ethereum, 3113, so well below $3,500. Well below the $4,600 that everybody was going wild at. Oh yeah, Ethereum's going to $10,000. Everybody buy it now. Well, all that shit went really silent really quickly. Ripple, right back in the toilet where it belongs. I have no idea how long it's going to be there. I believe the Congress itself is supposed to meet on the future of cryptocurrencies or the impact of cryptocurrencies somewhere around January 20th to the 22nd, I believe. And obviously the lawsuit against Ripple is still it's still in traction. So the thing about it is usually the government doesn't pick a fight that it can't lose, especially when it comes to one of these things, because they can tell you whatever they want. Dogecoin, right back in the shitter. Now, I want y'all to think back. A year ago, what is this, to January 18th. Where was Dogecoin a year ago? Dogecoin a year ago, January 18th, from what I remember, that's when they started hyping this bullshit. Where was it? January 18th, this shit was at, what was it, 0.0085. They were promising you it was going to $1. Never made it there. I think the highest it got was, it didn't even make 75 cents. 74 cents was its high. Now, there's a huge difference. Now, because some people could say, oh, yeah, well, if it could perform that quickly, that easily, then it could do it again. But there's a huge difference, guys. This time around, all of these cryptos are down because y'all ain't got welfare checks coming in no more. Government ain't paying your asses to sit home anymore. Right now, you got to get yourself up and get a job. Fuck COVID. You ain't getting a goddamn welfare check to sit on your ass. Get out, get a job, mow some lawns, you learn some barbershop skills, something. Nobody is paying your ass to stay home no more. The welfare checks is kaput. I don't know how they say it in German. Der welfare checks is kaput. No more welfare for you. Get up, get a job. You ain't getting no more free ass checks so you can sit home in your mom's basement and gamble on Bitcoin. It's over. Over. Game over. So anyway, the stock market was down about 400 points. And I think it's important to not only pay attention to who's down, but who's up. And I'd also like to point this out really quickly. You remember all those people telling you about GameStop and AMC going to the moon, and we're going to Pluto, and we're going to Jupiter and all that? You remember those people who were talking about that on Reddit? You remember that? You remember those people who suckered you into... I still, in the back of my mind, I still remember all those phone calls I got from people, clients. Oh, how do I get my money into GameStop? And the first thing I told them, I've said this 100 times, keep out of that shit. Stay away from it. It's a pump and dump. Stay away from it. I remember arguing with these dumb motherfuckers on the manosphere. They call it the manosphere, but basically these motherfuckers, they ain't got no power. So basically you got all these women jumping up, making their own channels and shitting all over these losers. But the bottom line is, I remember having to argue with all these stupid motherfuckers. Oh, yeah, all you got to do is put your money in here. You got to invest in crypto. Every time I hear the word invest in crypto, it makes me sick to my stomach. This is not an investment. It's gambling, period. This is no different than buying a lottery ticket. This is no different than going to a casino and dropping everything on snake eyes. This is gambling, pure and simple. It doesn't pay a dividend. There's no telling whether or not it's even a growth or a value stock, because it's not a stock. There's nothing there. There's no company behind any of this shit. Now, at least with GameStop and AMC, I could say, okay, there is a company behind it. Unfortunately, you idiots are piling into failing companies. There's a reason why GameStop and AMC were going bankrupt, because their business model was failing. But y'all don't get it. Y'all just don't get it. I tried. I tried my best, Lord. I tried to tell. When I get to the pearly gates, when I die one day, I'm going to tell St. Peter, listen, St. Peter, when you're asking about good deeds, I try, and I'm going to tell St. Peter just like this. Listen, as far as good deeds go, I tried to tell these stupid motherfuckers where to put their money and how to invest and grow their investments so that this way someday these dumbasses will be able to retire. But they called me dumb and they said I know what I was talking about. They argued with me. They silenced me. They shut me up. And, you know, St. Peter, I did my best. I did my best. And that's going to be my good deed. I'm going to tell them just like that. But, you know, you can't argue. You know what they say? A fool and their money is soon parted. So, again, I wanted to point to the things that aren't down. The tech stocks took a small dip today. They're down maybe a couple of percent. In fact, I can look at that on my phone because I put my lists together on my iPhone because I love the way they do stocks. In fact, Apple really should start its own stock trading because if they do, I'm going to make a portfolio on Apple stocks if they ever do that. But let's see. Microsoft, for example, part of Mangoat, because you know how I do my own index fund. Microsoft is down negative. It's down 2%, 2.4%. Apple is down 1.89%. Nvidia is down 3.86%. Google is down 2.5%. Amazon is down 1.9%. Tesla is down 1.82%. Intel is down 1.69%. AMD is down 3.62%. And then oil, the company oil is actually up. OIL is $26.34 at close. It is up 1.74%. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. And I told you I was going to make this quick, so I'm going to try to cut myself down to 10 minutes. I said I was going to make this quick because, as you know, I've made a couple of videos about investing in 2022. I speak on it, and most people, they don't listen to it because they're busy, focusing on other things, which, whatever. But I wanted to talk about who's up today because it's one thing to be down. It's another thing to be up today. Now, even though these gains are not much higher than, let's say, they're less than 1% in most cases, oil in general, oil and gas stocks in general are up. All of these, I took this photo. You can check the closing price yourself. I took this 45 minutes ago. In fact, I can look right now at my iPhone at because you already know I'm an oil man. Royal Dutch A closed at 50.95. Royal Dutch B closed at 50.99. So Royal Dutch A was up 1.80. Royal Dutch B was up 1.82%. Chevron was up 0.33%, closing at 129.38. Sunoco was up to $43.69, so it was up 0.99%. ExxonMobil closed at $73.08. It was up 1.68. And basically, if you look at the smaller oil stocks, most of them in general were up. And this is why I've said oil, gas, energy. The Democrats, I'm going to just say it like this, the Democrats have a horrible energy policy. This country, America, has a horrible energy policy. Instead of working closer with countries like Venezuela in order to make sure that we drill their oil, control their oil, and their people benefit from it. These stupid fucking idiots in my government are intent on trying to control these smaller these countries and the companies within. They're trying to control them by installing puppet governments. You need to research Juan Guaido. Puppet governments we're trying to install in these other countries. We did the same thing. We basically killed off Chavez in Venezuela when, Venezuela oil, Citgo, Valero. It's like instead of doing what China's doing and going into these countries and saying, hey, we'll work with you, we're going to strip you of natural resources, but we're going to leave behind a decent infrastructure and we're going to try to improve your people's quality of life. Instead of doing that, we're busy trying to install puppet governments into these countries. You should look up Juan Guaido and look up the background of what America's trying to do in Venezuela. We should be in there sucking them dry. We should be, if I was president, we would have an energy policy. Fuck Saudi Arabia. We'd be getting our oil from Venezuela since, they are closer. And we'd be working with those people. And believe me, if I was president, under my energy policy, gas prices would probably be less than $1 for premium. Probably less. Now, I know the states aren't going to let them go too low because they tax gasoline. But under my energy policy, gas prices would be low. They'd probably be lower than they were in 2009. But that's under me. Under these people, you got these shit Democrats who are trying to create scarcity in order to make it appear that the rich and the corporations and the capitalists are stealing everything. They are doing their best to promote scarcity in order to make sure that they have a platform to run on so that they can get elected. They're going to get their asses annihilated this November. I can promise you that. I already know there's going to be a red wave. Some red wave people are talking about it, but I already know it's going to happen. The Democrats are going to get their asses kicked over oil prices alone. Forget the inflation, which is really caused by the federal government, the Federal Reserve, I should say. Democrats are going to get their asses kicked. My bottom line is this. I can't worry about what the government's doing. I said I was going to try to be short. Big oil, big banks, and oil mining companies that do pay dividends. You see all of these dividend pays? You see this? I didn't make these lists for no reason. I've been trying to get you people into this shit since oil went negative in March 2020. When I saw the prices on this shit go down to historic lows, I piled my money in. I was making 30 and 50% returns. You know how these motherfuckers are walking around with Bitcoin talking about, oh yeah, Bitcoin's up like 10 million% since it started at $1 and now it's at $60,000. Well, it ain't 60,000 no more. It's at like 42. But anyway, I made so much money off of oil. It was fucking ridiculous. And then the other play was Tesla at the time because I'd been in Tesla since 2012. And I was able to purchase my second house by cashing out my Tesla gains. And I've been doing my best. I've been trying to tell you, put your money in oil. Put your money in these banks that pay dividend. I tried. I did whatever I could. I said it. My videos, when I talk about oil stocks, I get less than 1,000 views. When I talk about dividend stocks, I get less than 1,000 views. Now, when I'm driving around shouting at Honda Accords and Toyotas and making an ass of myself, all of a sudden I get 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 views. But when I'm giving out this financial gold, nothing. I get 1,000 fucking views. Meanwhile, the fake gurus, the fake cryptocurrency gurus, the fake motherfuckers on YouTube talking fake shit, these guys get on there telling, oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to $100,000. It's going, like, I'm like, this is bullshit. It's like, you mean to tell me that YouTube disables your view counts, they disable your subscriber counts, they allow you to disable your dislike button, they make it so that nobody on the outside can see how fake you motherfuckers are, and you just get away with this bullshit. Incredible. Fucking incredible. But all I can say at the end of the day is I tried. Some people listen. Some people know my shit is real. But I tried. Also, I should say the airlines are still down. Cruise lines are still down. For those people who are willing to put money in for long term, and when I say long term, I'm talking about 5, 10 years, the airlines and the cruise lines are not going to be profitable for some time. But that doesn't mean that you can't make some gains on their stock. I don't foresee them paying a dividend at any time. So right now, I really recommend that if you have extra money, that the only things you focus on are oil and banks. Energy is the ability to do work. Oil and bank stocks allow people to not only do work, but to buy shit. And when you're dealing with these banks, let me tell you something. When you're dealing with these banks, loans are the lifeblood of these banks, and they are making nothing but profit because they're charging your asses. How much interest are you paying on your credit cards? I know I don't pay any because I pay my credit cards off in full. I don't pay them interest. They are charging all of you interest. They are profitable. The oil companies are 100% profitable. Why do you think so many of the oil companies can afford to pay these dividends? The oil companies have been 100% profitable for the longest. Look at all of the big oil companies. All of them pay fucking dividends larger than the shit you see in a fucking bank. They can afford it. They're charging you $3 a gallon of gas. Oh, I'm sorry, $3.50. They're charging you. The cheapest I seen gas lately was like $3.45 at Costco or BJ's. So I can't even imagine how hard they're raping you out west. I don't even know. Or how hard are they hitting people who don't have a Costco, don't have a BJ's card? They are getting their money, and I intend to get some of their money from you because you're busy paying your money to the gas company. I am getting dividends from the gas company. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. This is not rocket science. So, I always put together a list for you of the stocks that I purchased. Now, somebody asked me again about weed. You got to understand something. After Kamala Harris got in, weed shot up, and that's why if you had followed some of my videos, I sold out of MCOA and I think MGA&A, and then I bought more when it dipped. But these Redditors were in that market, and they were pumping and dumping that market. Marijuana, I don't foresee is going to be profitable for some time because the problem is if they legalized it in the biggest cities, some companies can still profit off of marijuana. Companies that make products, like companies that make marijuana breathalyzers like blows off, and companies that make like marijuana products like suppositories and lotions and stuff. So my thing is, it's like you got to know when to hold, you got to know when to sell. But my thing is, on marijuana, a lot of my biggest gains I got from just two, MJNA and MCOA. I also did sell GRNH, and I sold Indo at about the same time, and I think I also sold ERBB. But that's because Reddit was pumping and dumping these stocks just like they tried to do with GameStop and they tried to do with, AMC. So, yeah, right now, marijuana, I don't recommend that. I recommend for long-term gains, you focus on the dividend payers. That's why I made you this list right here. I've never deviated. I keep on showing you the same shit over and over and over. The oil companies are still paying that dividend. Sunoco still paying 7.63. The telecoms, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, what is that? That's AT&T, Verizon. I think T-Mobile should be on here because I know I own T-Mobile too. And Sirius, Warren Buffett bought Sirius, so I bought Sirius. Because, hey, if you're going to go after a 1% dividend on Sirius and it was at the, it was low, I mean, fuck it, why not? But I've been telling you the same shit over and over and over. But no, you want to invest in XRP. You want to invest in Shiba Inu. Let's see how Shiba Inu is doing. It's got a dog in it, so it must be good, right? Oh, that's not, but what are you talking about? It's up like 1,000% from last year. I made $25 by putting in 55 cents. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. Oh no, y'all want to invest in Dogecoin. Huh? Yeah, I got in at 25 cents. Oh shit, this shit is 17 cents now, so I lost a lot of money right there. But it was on. Don't worry, I'll be back up. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it on for dear life. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to the moon. We going to Pluto. We going to Jupiter. Yeah. I tried. Safe Mars. I've been ragging on this shit for the longest. Safe Mars and Safe Moon. I've been ragging on this shit for the longest. And these people are still putting their money into it. It's sad. It's really sad. And the sad thing is, when there's the scam, well, what scam? What scam are you talking about? Well, let's go to, Crypto.com exchange compromised, but CEO downplays severity. The loss could have been far greater. You could have actually lost real money. One of the world's largest crypto exchanges has apparently suffered a security breach in which an estimated 4,600 Ethereum tokens valued at more than 14 million were stolen. That's no small amount of money, but things could have been much worse had the incident lasted longer. So let me get this straight. You would rather invest your money in gambling on shit that's obviously being stolen at points of sale. Because the first thing, if you say it can be hacked, the first thing some Bitcoin asshole is going to tell you, oh, you can't hack this. This is military-grade encryption. Yeah, but guess what? You can hack the points of sale. You can hack the wallets on the websites. So this is what you want? Is this what you want for your money? Well, go ahead. Keep putting your money in this shit and see if it's still there by the time you're fucking 60. Let's see. And this is so sad. They got these fake Bitcoins made up. Fake gold, fake silver. Bitcoin is fucking imaginary. There's no physical Bitcoin. And it's sad because they make it look so legitimate too. But some of y'all just don't get it. And you know who they target with this bullshit? They target children. Millennials who are still relatively mentally children, because most of y'all are retarded. Some of y'all can barely read. Some of you didn't graduate from school legitimately. Most of you haven't gone to college. So this is who they target. They target millennials. They target Generation Z kids living at home with their parents. And they're going to target Generation Alpha. You can bet on that. And who else do they target? Poor kids in Africa, Dominican Republic people, Puerto Ricans. This is who they target. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And I wanted to point out something else. I had put this in my community chat because, see, I love putting shit in my community chat because when you put certain things on Facebook, they don't like it. They try to flag it and they try to make it like, oh, you're spamming. It's like, I'm not spamming, you stupid fuck. It's like, I'm not spamming. Where is it? How do I get to my community chat without touching this? Right here, your channel.
So I'm here with...
Yes, in the community chat. One thing I did point out a little earlier, and probably nobody talked about it, but I was talking to somebody about the fact that I believe that women were the majority of student loan holders. As you know, the New York Times, and I did a story on this, as you know, the New York Times has talked about the fact that boys are dropping out of college. My theory is obviously that the boys feel that they're being overshadowed by the females because the government is pushing women ahead of them. And a lot of boys worry about student loan debt, so what they do is they drop out and they say, yeah, I'm just going to get a regular job. I'm going to go into trucking. I'm going to go into security or something like that, or the military. I believed, before I even looked up the stats, that women were the majority of debt owners for student loans because women don't give a fuck about taking out student loans. Here's the problem. Men do dangerous, dirty, and difficult jobs. That's one of the reasons why men die earlier than women. If men were just sitting at home on their ass eating bonbons and watching Ricky Lake and watching Oprah, I think we'd live a bit longer. But we don't, because we do dangerous, difficult, and dirty jobs. We go to war. We fight each other in the street and shit. And the thing about it is men are more likely to just go get a job. Women don't want to just go get a job because they're not interested in manual labor. What they want to do is take out student loans so that they can get a glamorous job. And that glamorous job is where they want to be. They don't want to be doing hard work. Like they look at these Chinese women who come here and they're doing your nails and they're doing your feet and your hair. And oh, I would never want to do that because the women, modern American women, refuse to serve. Those are service jobs. If you go to church, one of the things they'll teach you is at a certain point, Jesus washed the feet of disciples. Why did he do that? Because Jesus was not above servitude. You can look that shit up. What is it? Jesus washes feet. Jesus was not above servitude. Jesus washed the feet of his disciples because he was willing to serve. He can't lead if you're not going to serve. And that was the whole point. Because you'd be like, wait a minute, how are you king of the Jews and you on your knees washing feet? Jesus was willing to serve. Modern women aren't willing to serve, and that's why they are so terrible, and that's why they've fallen so far away from tradition. 58% of all student loan debt belongs to women. After 12 years of repayment, black women owe an average of 13% more than they borrowed. So this is a manosphere talking point for you. How the fuck do you owe 13% more than you borrowed? It took me less than 10 years to pay my shit off. Anyway, it takes women an average of 2 years longer to pay off their student loans despite making higher payments. Or maybe they never used a loan calculator, because I know I've done videos where I explain to you how to use a loan calculator. But anyway, nobody watches those. They only want to see me screaming at a fucking Toyota. That's all it is. They don't watch my financial videos. So anyway, student borrowers who identify as LGBTQ+, I don't know what the plus stands for. What's that? Have an average of $16,000 more in student loan debt than those who do not. Average undergraduate loan debt broken down, they break it down by male, female. What is this gender non-conforming bullshit? No, it's male or female. Fuck all these other categories. It's male or female. That's it. I'm gonna cut this part off so you don't see that part. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. Well, I guess I can't because I can't scroll down anymore. That's just stupid gender non-conforming. My ass. You're a man or you're female. Morons. So anyway. See, this is what you're up against. You're up against stupidity on a level that the country has never seen it before. You're up against insanity. This is why you can't get nothing done. So anyway, where are we? Parents of male students are more likely to take out loans on their behalf. Yeah, Jimmy, you're an idiot, so I got to help you get into school. Yeah, Jimmy, you're a moron. Not you, Jimmy. We're cool. I'm talking, I just made up a name that sounded like, bourgeoisie. Okay, I'll change the name. How about Timmy? Hey, Timmy, you're an idiot. I'm going to take out a loan and put your dumb ass into school. There you go, Timmy. Okay, hopefully nobody's offended at Timmy. So anyway, among associate degree holders, 58% of males and 70% of females receive student loans. Associate degrees, you're taking out student loans to go to the community college? 55.9% of males receive federal loans, while 21.5% receive non-federal loans. 67.2% of female students obtain federal loans. 24.2% receive non-federal loans. Now, I want you to notice something. Right here, all it talks about is males and females. Up here, they got this gender non-conforming bullshit. So we're going to go right back down here, where this stuff makes sense. Male student borrowers are the least likely to have high amounts of student debt. Male student borrowers are the least likely to have high amounts. I want you to pay close attention to that. These are manosphere talking points for the people who don't do as much work as I do researching. Female borrowers are more likely than male peers to have student loan debt from graduate school. Yeah, you know why? Because it's just what I said. Women will go to graduate school, they'll go get a master's degree, and Kevin Samuels has a PhD button where he pushes it, he says, I'm a PhD, I'm a PhD, I'm a PhD. So what they do is they go to graduate school, run up $60,000 getting a master's degree, run up $100,000 getting a fake PhD that's whack, it's stupid. Nobody gives a fuck that you have underwater basket weaving skills. Nobody. If you really want a doctorate, you want people to call you doctor to appease your ego, which is so battered and hurt. Go to medical school. Get a doctorate degree. Get a real doctor's degree, MD. So this way, if I break my leg or if I hurt my finger or something, I can ask you, fix this, and you know what to do. You know to take the needle and stick it in there and inject the lidocaine or the morphine or whatever, and then you patch it up and you set the bone and all that. Other than that, what the fuck do I need you for? Nothing! Nothing! That's the truth. Nothing. If you can't patch me up, I don't need you. You're not a doctor. A doctor is the guy I can say, hey, doc, you know who's a doctor? Let me see who's a doctor. This chick right here. Dr. Pimple Popper. She's a doctor. Dr. Pimple Popper. Now that is a doctor. She, when you come into Dr. Sandra Lee's office, you can have, where's the guy There's a guy on here with this guy looks like he has a testicle growing off of his goddamn leg. And, wait, where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Dr. Pimple Popper, I want to see. I know she has it right about here somewhere. This is a real doctor. This right here is a real doctor right here. This is what I'm talking about. If I can come to you and say, hey, doc, I got some crazy shit growing on the side of my head. I need you to pop it, and I need you to take it off. This is a real doctor. I don't need you to tell me how to weave underwater baskets. I don't need you to be a PhD in gender nonconformity or something. I don't need that. I need you to cut this shit off my leg. That's what I need. I need you to sew it up. Look at this. A real doctor has needles, and a real doctor sticks them in and isolates the area so that you don't feel the pain, and then they snip, cut, nip, and tuck. That's a real doctor. I don't need you telling me bullshit and getting a doctorate degree in lesbian studies. I don't need that. I need a doctor. When I say, excuse me, is there a doctor in the house? I have a bullet hole in my leg from a stray bullet. I need you to be able to get your surgical shit and pull the bullet out. If you can't do that, you're useless. Okay, so I hope I haven't gone too far off the beaten path here. What else? Let's see. Male borrowers on the other. Okay, female borrowers are more likely than their male peers to have student loan debt from graduate school. Male borrowers, on the other hand, have a higher average amount of student loan debt from graduate school. That's interesting. I would guess that might have to do with, I have no idea. I don't know what they went into. I don't know if it was law or whatever. Okay, while some students identified as transgender, there are as yet not enough male to female nor female to male student respondents to create meaningful data. Well, I have an idea, guys. Instead of talking about transgender, do me a favor. Find out what they look like down there, and we'll go with male or female. How about that? How about we take the simple Mr. Spock logical course, and we just look between their legs and say, oh, you're a guy. Or, oh, you're a woman. How about that? And then you can create meaningful data sets. Okay, so anyway, student loan payments by sex. Oh, they go by sex too, and they probably go by race. Women are more likely than men to have high monthly student loan payments despite having an income that is 26% lower. Well, if you're going to go into hair care or you're going to go into beautician school, chances are you're not going to make as much as me. Chances are. Just saying. Just saying. If you're designing bridges rather than building them, like if you're sitting in an office designing it, build bridges and buildings on AutoCAD rather than going out and building them, chances are you're going to make less money. Sorry, that's just what it is. Now, if you like to pick up a hammer and a sickle and you want to go out there and you want to, build something, like, an airplane, I'm not talking about designing the seats and designing the quilts. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about designing the ailerons and the flap of the elevators and the flaps and the spoilers. That's what I'm talking about. Designing that in a wind tunnel. Then we can talk about a pay gap. Okay, 15% of men's payments and 13% of women's payments are in the 25th percentile. 25% of males have student loan payments that are less than $100 per month. 28% of females have loan payments less than $100 per month. At 24%, each men and women are equally as likely to pay more than $350 per month. Well, I don't have to worry about none of that shit because I paid mine off a long time ago, so I ain't got to worry. Student loan debt among females. Women owe a disproportionately high amount of the student loan debt. Women are also more likely to have high amounts of debt. Some of this is likely due to the fact that female bachelor's degrees holders are paid 74% of what their male peers make. Well, I'm going to say it again. If you get a degree and I get a degree, and I decide to go out and work in an oil field drilling oil, or if I become an ice road trucker and I'm driving trucks on an ice road and I'm getting paid $300,000 a year because most people die doing that job and I just happen to be one of the few that didn't, well, chances are I'm going to get paid more than you. Sorry, that's just what it is. If we go to medical school and you decide, I'd just rather just be a nurse. I don't want to be the doctor. And I decide to be the doctor. Chances are I'm going to make more money than you when I'm cutting people's heads open and splitting their cerebellum and getting in there and taking out cancer. Chances are I'm going to make more money. So I don't want to hear that pay gap nonsense. I don't want to hear it. If you don't want a pay gap, you need to go out there and do what the men are doing. Bottom line. Let's see. Black women have the highest average amount of debt. Kevin Samuels, can I use that button? I'm a PhD. I'm a PhD. I'm a PhD. I don't need a cookbook. I wish I had that button thing. It's called StreamYard Pro or something like that. I got to get one of those. I love that thing. Asian women have the lowest average amount of student loan debt. Really? I wonder why. Women of color. You mean like Kamala Harris? Women of color, what the fuck does that mean? Everybody's got some kind of color. Even white women got some color in their skin. Women of color who borrow money to pay for college are 12% more likely to have student loan debt than majority. What's a majority? Whoa, this is racist. Whoa. What is a majority woman? What the hell does that mean? Huh? Are you talking about blonde hair and blue eyes? Is that what you're talking about? What about the white girls that got brown hair and freckles? This is racist right here. This is racist. Women of color are 20% more likely to have student loan debt than majority men. Whoa. Majority men? What the fuck does that mean? Why did you say women of color instead of saying minority women when you're going to compare it to majority men? Is there something wrong here with the adjectives? Never mind. I'm making too much sense. I said this is going to be short and I lied. The average black woman's student loan debt grows 13% in their first 12 years of repayment. Guess what, ladies? You need to make sure that your interest rate isn't too high. You need to make sure that when you're getting your PhD, that you're not putting all of the money into forbearance so that this way you can start paying the interest while you're still finishing your PhD. But y'all ain't listening. Whatever. The average black woman's student loan debt grows 13% in their first 12 years. I don't know how y'all did that one. I don't know, because I paid mine off in less than 10 years. I got the plaque. I got it framed in the next room in my house. I got it framed. When people walk into my house, the first thing they see is a Navient letter that says $0 because you paid it all. I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know how y'all did that. I don't know. In the same period, the average white woman, see, now we want to call them a white woman. Before, you called her a majority woman. What is it? Never mind. The average white woman's student loan debt shrinks by 28%. Well, maybe that has something to do with either them refinancing or, if they're really savvy, paying it down to the point where it can't keep on doubling. Maybe they're paying the interest. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Can we find a Karen to talk to? Karen, how did you shrink your debt by 28%? I don't know. Let's find a white woman to talk to her. White men, in comparison, see their student loan debts drop by 44%. Now, I got to find a white man. And ask him, excuse me, Timmy, how did you get your loan to drop more than Jessica? How did you do that? How did you drop your loan more than Karen and Jessica? So I got to find a white man. I got to talk to them. Now, I'm not even going to this nonsense about student loan debt beyond binary. This, as far as I'm concerned, this is bullshit right here. I ain't even going into that. So this is what you're up against, folks. And I've told you already. I made a video. I said, listen, guys, you need to make a plan for your money for the next 10 years. I told you what my plan was, and I told you need a plan. You need dividend stocks to grow your money. You need dividend stocks in companies you can trust. Well-known companies with good track records. That's what you need. You can do whatever you want because it's not my money, it's your money. You can do whatever you want. I already know what I'm doing. I know what me and NVIDIA and Microsoft and Apple and Amazon and Google and oil, I know what we're doing. What are you doing? That's the question. What are you doing? Because one thing's for sure, when I retire in 10 years and I'm on that beach in some foreign country sipping buko juice because I got some chick half my age serving it to me, and you're here in the rat race, can't retire, got no pension because you didn't listen to me, you put all your money into crypto. All I know is I'm going to be sitting there with that chick half my age in some foreign country. She's barely got any clothes on because it's like 80 degrees outside, 85 degrees, maybe 90. And she's going to be serving me that buko juice. And I'm going to be thinking to myself about all of those people that I left behind when I went to Pluto and I went to Jupiter and I went to the moon. I'm going to think about all those people I left behind because they thought that all they had to do is just keep putting their money into these Ponzi coins and that they were going to get so rich they were going to have Lamborghinis and everything. Meanwhile, I'm going to be sitting on that beach. She's going to be clipping my toenails, rubbing my back, massage. She's going to have the oil, the skin oil from the coconuts, and she's going to be rubbing my back. And I'm going to be thinking to myself, man, if only YouTube hadn't suppressed my videos and hadn't focused on crypto gurus who were trying to sell courses to people who didn't know any better.